That's Banner Boy, guys. Banner Boy. Just came from work right now. Okay. I'm heading home. Well, guys, let me continue with my story. Okay, where were we in the morning? I was actually in Hamburg in a lodging hotel. Slept there in the morning. Okay, so as usual, no breakfast because it was a lodging. Yeah, so I decided to check out around 11 o'clock in the morning, and I decided to walk around. Since I don't know anyone, I'll just walk around with my luggage, my stereo, my bag, you know, and I'm heading nowhere. I'm just walking around Hamburg with my luggage. Then I was like, what about if there's a place one can leave a luggage? If there's a place I could leave a luggage and then pick it up after some few days when I've settled. Okay, so I walk around, and then I went to the train station where I arrived. Then I went to the information desk. I asked them if they knew a place that I could put my luggage for some time, and then I'll come and pick it up later when I've settled. Fortunately enough, of course, in every train station there's always a place that you can leave a luggage, but I didn't know that by then. I was still new in the diaspora. That was in Germany. Okay, so oh my god, I love this song. Well, okay, so I take my luggage to the luggage place, and they tell me fortunately I could only pay when I'm picking up the luggage, so that they would know how many days I've spent at the luggage place. So I kept them there, and then I was free. I had nothing walking around with apart from my passport. Okay, apart from my passport and and nothing in my pocket. So I decided I should just walk around at the train station, the Hauptbahnhof in Hamburg, asking around, just like the other day, if I could get someone to help me with accommodation, since I was trying to settle in Germany. Okay, so I walk around from around midday, that's at 12 o'clock noon, and same place, train station, walking around, no food. So it's 6 o'clock in the evening. I'm still walking around, trying to get some Kenyans to help me around, asking if there were anyone who knew Kenyans around. I'm still walking around. It's 9 o'clock at night. I've become desperate. I don't know what to do. I'm still at the train station. Okay, of course I don't have anything in my pockets. I've not eaten. Okay, so I'm still at the Hauptbahnhof. That's the train station in Hamburg. Hauptbahnhof means train station in German. So it's 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, oh my god, what do I do now? I sit somewhere, seeing people walking around. Then I saw some African guy. I approach him. I'm like, hey bro, can you do me a favor? I don't have any place to stay, man. I don't have any coins with me. Do you know any Kenyans or anyone that can help me around? Okay, so this guy is like, hey, where you from? I say I'm from Kenya. And where you from? He's from Nigeria. and he introduces himself. His name was Babyface. That was actually a nickname, as I understood later. I'll come into that, guys. So, of course, I introduced myself. I'm Cleo Nyango from Kenya. I just came from Sweden. Blah, blah, I'm stranded. I've lost everything. I've not lost, but I mean, I'm here. I have nothing, okay? So, this guy is like, okay, you know, bro, you know what? I can help you. I'm like, what? Yeah, I can help you. There's no problem. But if I help you, this is what you should know, that this is what I do, okay? I'm like, what? And then he puts his hands in his mouth, and then he produces some stuff from the mouth. Then I'm like, hey, what's that? And then he's like, I'll tell you later. Then he puts it back in his mouth. Then I'm like, it was a white stuff, like, you know, starched in some small polythene bags, you know. So I'm like, okay, no problem. Then he tells me, come, follow me. He pays for my ticket. He pays for my ticket to where he lives. So we enter the train, and then in about 15 minutes, he tells me we get off the train, and then we walk into some bush outside the train station. I mean the next stop. So we walk out of the train station, out of the train, and then we go into some bush. Then I'm like, hey, what is he going to do? What is Babyface up to? So we go somewhere. He goes in some tree around there, and then he starts, you know, like to remove the soil. Okay, and then he picked up some few things. Okay, so he picks up the stuff, and then he's like, okay, now we can go now. We get back to the train, same train station. We get back to the train, and then we go to where he lives. Okay, so we come to his place, just a one bed sitter, just a room, you know, like a room with no bed, a mattress on the floor. Man, life is hard, man. So I'm like, okay. Then he tells me, okay, you can relax over there. And then he had a small stove, you know, like a small gas, you know, a stove, something that to cook food with. So he makes some stuff, some food. We eat, and then he tells me, okay, you sleep. So Babyface is awake all the time. How do I go from here, guys? I should take... Okay, I'll take that route. So Babyface... I'm sorry, guys. I'm driving. So Babyface... I'm asleep, but Babyface is doing his stuff, you know. Actually, Babyface was a drug dealer, okay? And what he was doing, he was like putting these... the cocaine in small sachets, so that during the day he moves around with the stuff in his mouth in small bags, and then he sells them. Okay, so this is what he was doing while I was trying to get my sleep. But while I was so stranded, so I was like, okay, since I'm in this situation, what to do? Okay, maybe I should also do this, you know. And okay, I fell asleep, and Babyface continued doing his thing. Then in the morning, we woke up in the morning. He was like, you know what, Clay? I have to take you somewhere where you can seek asylum, okay? I'll take you somewhere you can seek asylum, and then these guys will give you a place to stay, blah, blah, blah. And then later, if you want to join me and do this, you're welcome. But this is what I do, okay? Then I was like, oh, okay, no problem, Babyface. So we get up in the morning. We head somewhere. Sorry, guys. We head somewhere. We head to actually a car dealer. And Babyface actually buys a car. I was like, what? Yeah, I'm sending this to Nigeria. I was like, oh, okay. I do this almost every day. I send cars to Africa, to Nigeria. So, I mean, when you've settled, if you want to do this, you're welcome, bro. You're welcome. Then I was like, okay, we'll see what to do. We'll see. So he takes me to a place where I could seek asylum. Sorry, guys, I'm driving. So he takes me actually to a place where I could seek asylum, and I tried to seek an asylum because there was a long queue. So he leaves me with about about how much? About $50. He's like, okay, you stay in the queue. You tell these guys that you're stranded, you don't have a place to stay, blah, 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 blah. Then they'll give you a place to stay. So he gives me $50. He gives me $50, and I stay on the queue. Okay? So I stay on the queue. I stay on the queue like for 1.5 hours. And then exactly when I've arrived, when it's my turn, you know, the asylum guy tells me, oh, we are closing now, so you can only come back tomorrow. Okay? Just when it was my turn. So I was like, okay, no problem. Fortunately, I had $50 from Babyface, and I knew my way back, because I mean he had told me how to go back. So I went back to Babyface. I took the train, went back to Babyface, and I told him, oh, you know what, it didn't work out. I arrived at the entrance, it was my turn, and they said it was late, so I could not seek asylum. Okay? So, oh my God, you still want to hear the story? Let me just cut it short right now. For more stories, log or subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? Clay Onyango, just write Clay Onyango, and you'll hear so many different stories from different people from me. I'll start with my stories, and then I have other people that will give their stories too. And I hope you'll support me. You can send in your stories also from the diaspora. I mean, this could be good for anyone who is planning to move abroad, or anyone who is planning to move back home. Okay, so I mean, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and for now I'll stop, guys, but I hope you remember where we've stopped. I've gone back to Babyface with my $50. Okay, so subscribe, and I'll come back to you guys with more stories. Okay, how the story ended. Cheers. Thank you. Bye.